Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Enactus Canada's Student Entrepreneur Final Round of Competition, proudly presented by HSBC Bank Canada. The competition will begin momentarily, but first, I'd like to hand it over to HSBC Bank Canada to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Hallwood, and I am the Head of Corporate Sustainability for HSBC Bank Canada. On behalf of the bank, welcome to the Student Entrepreneur National Competition, Final Round of Competition. At HSBC Bank Canada, we believe that now more than ever, there's a need to develop the skills and business innovation needed to secure long-term prosperity for all. And that includes supporting sustainable networks and entrepreneurship with a focus on helping new companies to emerge and grow. This is why we are so thrilled to support the Student Entrepreneur National Competition, which recognizes and celebrates Canadian university and college students who balance a full-time course load and a full-time business. That is no easy feat. This evening, from over 300 nominations, over 100 judges have narrowed it down to 3 national finalists who are here to compete for the title of Student Entrepreneur National Champion, a $10,000 grand prize, and the John Dobson Cup. Thank you to our student entrepreneur judges who helped make those difficult decisions, and to the judges that are here with us today for helping to select our champion. So, without further ado, let's get started with the presentations. And I'm wishing all of you very good luck.
From over 275 nominations, hundreds of judges have narrowed it down to our 3 national finalists, who are here to compete for the title of Student Entrepreneur National Champion, a $10,000 grand prize, and the John Dobson Cup. Thank you to our student entrepreneur judges who helped make those difficult decisions, and to the final round judges who have the very difficult decision of selecting our national champion. So without further ado, let's get started with the presentations. Good luck to all. Please join me in welcoming our first student entrepreneur, Blair Forrest from Wilfrid Laurier University, owner of AMZ Prep Canada.
Firstly, thank you so much for coming to listen to my presentation. My name is Blair. I'm the founder and CMO of AMZ Prep, and we help businesses sell on Amazon. To give you an idea, more than 197 million individuals log into their Amazon account on any given day. This is more than the entire population of Russia. And there's more than 3 million businesses who sell their products on the Amazon marketplace across the world. And these 3 million businesses generate over $9 billion worth of revenue on the US marketplace alone just in 2019. And this is where my story began. I always had a knack for reselling products online. And at a young age, I was always going to garage sales and just reselling products. As I got into university, I learned about the Amazon business model, where I could resell physical products at a higher price on the Amazon marketplace. This being one of my actual own products that I sourced from Asia. It's a baby caddy. So the issue was that as I tried to expand to the Canadian market, what happened was that, one, I couldn't ship my products to my own university dorm, given that they wouldn't accept 1,000 baby caddies. And 2, the only other solution were located in the US, meaning I actually physically had to drive my Hyundai Elantra across the border, stuff my baby caddies into my trunk, drive them across the border with a very questionable customs clearance of why I'm bringing in so many baby products, and then just to ship them to Amazon. This wasn't feasible. So in September 2018, I decided to get my own warehouse around 300 square feet. Now, what happened was I had friends and individuals in the space start to ask if they can use my warehouse to receive and handle their products. So less than a month later, we launched our own website, and overnight we got 15 plus submissions, just furthermore validating what I thought could potentially be a successful business model. We grew quickly. We moved to our next warehouse more than 3 months later and 4 times the size. And by June of 2019, we lifted for our first round of funding of over $250,000 and moved into our new warehouse, which we're currently at today, more than 100,000 square feet, more than 100 times our last warehouse in 5 months while still in university. So what's the issue? Traditional direct-to-consumer business models have an increasing issue as they continue to grow. They have an increasing cost such as warehousing, labor, operations, and the tape you use to ship your product to your favorite end consumer. These are all costs that increase as you continue to grow. And for these small to medium businesses, it's unbelievably difficult to scale your business out of your retail store, your garage, or home. And not to mention, the cost to purchase your own warehouse or operation just isn't feasible for most of these brands. For our enterprise organizations, Amazon has unbelievably complicated guidelines of how you can ship their products into their fulfillment hubs. And their internal systems weren't built for Amazon prep and shipping. They're built for multinational B2B distribution hub. So because of this, Amazon gets left in the dust with these larger organizations. So our solution, we built the first ever Canadian Amazon-enabled fulfillment and warehousing solution that, one, provided a hands-off solution for these businesses, two, provided scalability for all brands of all sizes, and also came with a back team of Amazon experts to help navigate the Amazon space and marketplace alongside you. So now that we understand a little bit more, let me tell you how it works.
So you have a product and you want to sell it on Amazon. Or maybe you have tons of products and a growing business, but you don't have the infrastructure, warehousing, or time to manage it all. That's where AMZ Prep Canada comes in. We handle the logistics of selling your products on Amazon from start to finish with a simple and transparent process. Here's how it works. You send us your products from anywhere in the world. Once they're received, our team will sort, inspect, and store each product in our warehouse. Using cloud-based software, you'll be able to track your products live as they're being processed through our facilities. Once you're ready, our Amazon experts will then pick your shipments off the shelves. Check, label, and pack your products according to Amazon's strict guidelines. And lastly, label and ship your products to Amazon FBA centers all across North America.
So now that you have a bit more idea of what we do and how the business model works, let's talk growth. Within the past 18 months, we went from 0 to 25 individuals in our organization and processed over 1 million shipments out of our warehouse last year alone. We did over $415,000 in our first corporation year, and we grew over 1,100% last year. We're forecasted to do over $900,000 by the end of 2020 and a forecasted $1.45 million in revenue going into 2021. We raised over $250,000 in capital, and we also invested over $100,000 into our own software to help these brands on Amazon. We expanded our operations globally, finalizing a warehouse in London, England, that will manage our entire EU distribution hub. And we actively manage over $250 million worth of revenue on the Amazon marketplace. But most importantly, we help hundreds of brands sell on the Amazon marketplace. To give you an idea of some of the brands we work with, everything from small to medium businesses that maybe just got on Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, all the way to $100 million firms that are looking for a complete revamp on their Amazon and e-commerce strategy. But what happened several months ago was the entire world flipped on its head, and there was millions of businesses, small businesses just like myself, looking for an answer in how we can stay afloat during a global crisis. As AMZ was listed as an essential business, we understood that we had an obligation not only to the businesses we work with, but to the greater community and also to the hundreds of thousands of frontline workers taking this issue head on. Because of this, we rolled up our sleeves, put on our medical supplies, and we got to work. We successfully distributed over 100,000 products to frontline workers and individuals who needed these products the most. And not only did we sustain during the COVID-19 crisis, we thrived, bringing in some of our most profitable months a date that will go down in AMZ history. So what does the future look like for AMZ? How we're going to tackle this business, taking it from a $1 to $2 million business to a $50 and $100 million organization. We have two major pillars at play. One is our international expansion strategy, and two is our full suite agency service. Through our international expansion strategy, we're focusing on offering this very niche Amazon solution across the globe and taking down the barriers that it takes for these small to medium businesses to expand globally and offer their products to hundreds of millions of individuals across the globe. Doing this, we are finalizing our London office just for later this year to come for launch that's going to manage our entire EU distribution hub to offer our product on Amazon UK and across Europe. Additionally, we're looking at expanding to our Canadian Out West warehouse to ensure we manage operations, logistics, and shipping across Canada for all of our businesses. And our second pillar is our agency division, which is Sequence. Now, Sequence provides full suite solutions for brands selling on Amazon, from marketing, consulting, and brand strategy, all the way to full suite account management and international expansion strategies. Through our first year of operations with Sequence, we forecasted over $100,000 in revenue of operations. Now, our main focus for this is to ensure that these brands continue to grow with us, whether that's from warehousing and fulfillment to full suite account management and strategy, taking their business across the globe so that we can skyrocket their sales on and off the platform. As we continued to grow, AMZ didn't reinvent the wheel. I saw a trend in the fastest growing e-commerce business in the world, Amazon, and a gap in the market that needed to be solved. So I doubled down. A great man once told me that skate to where the puck is going, not where it is being. And we engraved this in every single one of the individuals within our organization, our partners, our shareholders, and everyone that engraves what we're doing here at AMZ and for the future. We're unbelievably excited for what the next few years hold for us, and we're now open up for questions. Thank you so much for your time and listening.
Thanks so much. So judges, we're going to start the Q&A period. As mentioned, you can submit your questions through the Q&A function. And I've got a few that have started coming in. So Blair, let's get started.
Amazing.
Hamish Knox from Sandler Training is asking, he's curious about barriers to entry for competitors and potential challenges with setting up in the UK with Brexit looming and how you make money. Is it a percentage of the sale or a subscription?
Yeah. Firstly, thank you guys all for listening to the presentation. I really appreciate your time today. Sorry, can you repeat the question for the first one and then I'll tackle the second?
Yeah, sorry, I realized as I was reading it, there were two parts to it. Apologies. Just curious about barriers to entry for competitors and potential challenges with setting up in the UK with Brexit looming.
Amazing. Yeah, so in terms of our barriers to entry, because the core bread and butter of what we do is we offer warehousing fulfillment, the overhead cost of covering the warehousing, the infrastructure, and the logistics is really the mitigating factor. We started this business using Google Sheets as a warehouse management, but we finally just finalized our new software. So this will kind of increase our barriers to entry for anything in the Canadian solutions. So right now we're not dealing with too much competition. Obviously in the US, the solution that we're providing, there's already solutions down there. So we're obviously being proactive in ensuring there will be competition at some point, but between the software and how we're trying to protect ourselves from limiting the competition in the future, the software is one point, and ensuring that we invest in the infrastructure and the right people, building the culture here is going to be a huge benefit for us. And in terms of the UK expansion, what we're actually doing is we have family out in the UK. We just finalized our warehouse just north of London in a small little city called Harrow. So it's not large, around 10,000 square feet warehouse. But with this, we're tackling a franchisee model with them. So we're taking a fraction of the revenue. We knew that we're not experts in the UK space, and nor do we want to enter that space given the entire situation with everything looming of the Brexit. We all know this is a very prevalent factor. We want to finalize that the UK will kind of be our entire expansion and EU distribution hub. So we want to make sure that we can tackle the big five with Germany, Italy, France. There's Amazon in each one of these countries, and we want to make sure that we can offer this very unique solution in every single one of these countries. So because of this, we're letting the people over there do what they do best and ensuring that we manage the Canadian and US forefront because we know what we do best.
Makes sense. And the second part of the question was, how do you make money? Is it a percentage of the sale or is it a subscription? How does that work?
Sure. Yeah, so what we do is we charge a per unit for every single unit that goes into our warehouse. So very similar, a lot of the businesses we work with, a great example is we work with a company called Hush. Lane Merrifield actually works with them. And what the business model does with them was they would ship us products. We would charge a per unit fee to make sure that it's prepared for Amazon's guideline. We'd receive it, we'd label it. Anything that needs to go to Amazon's fulfillment hubs, we'd be charging anywhere from $1 to $1.50 for every single unit. So if a company has 10,000 units that they want to send to Amazon, before they get there, there's a lot of small little nitty-gritty things that need to get done to prepare it to Amazon, and we'll charge anywhere from $1 to $1.50 for every single unit.
Fair enough. Yvonne Tevenow wants to know, what are the most significant risks of your business operation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, as we kind of mentioned before, the increased risk of anything on the US in terms of the competition, obviously this is a looming factor that we're always considering, and we're going year by year to make sure that we're continuing to protect ourselves. The other risk involved, I think, is the overhead operational risk. Obviously, a lot of the organizations in this day and age are really building themselves, and we're helping a lot of digital businesses that don't need to cover their overhead in the warehousing. So just the overhead increasing costs, our warehousing, investing in the people, the offices, these are all costs that we do have to consider. I'd say it's one of our biggest risks in terms of as we continue to expand and move from a 100,000 square foot warehouse to a 1 million square foot warehouse. These costs, digital businesses and smaller businesses don't need to worry about. And for us, it's just one more factor we have to consider, given that's the majority of where our costs come from.
Fair enough. Susan O'Brien from Canadian Tire asks, can you see expanding beyond Amazon to other marketplaces?
Yeah, so ironically, we actually just finalized our partnership with Canadian Tire. So we're working with American Ninja Warrior. They're really big in the US. Everyone's probably saw something on TV for them. But we're working with the brand that actually works for them, and we're doing their entire Canadian distribution for Canadian Tire. So because Canadian Tire offers an e-commerce platform, we're slowly transitioning towards this. So we know that Amazon's not going to be the only marketplace that businesses want to sell on. After COVID, the increasing opportunity to diversification is a really crucial part that's playing to it. So we offer this fulfillment model very similar to businesses that sell on eBay, that sell on Walmart, Canadian Tire, Toys R Us, basically the big 5 to 10. But as we continue to grow, we're looking into those niche marketplaces. If there's a business and a consumer that wants to buy a product, we're more than happy to fulfill it from our warehouse.
Seems reasonable. Amr from Nerve Technology wants to know, can you tell us a little bit more about your team and the talent you have on board to scale?
Yeah, this is my favorite part of every conversation. So very early on, I knew that there's a lot of part of the businesses that, to be very transparent, it's just not my specialty. Finance is an area where I want to make sure that I hire people more, and the entire culture that I've tried to build at AMZ was hire people smarter than me. So very from the get-go, I continue to look and kind of reinvest a lot of our capital back into the people that we hire. So we just got one of our newer staff. He's gonna be our general manager. We moved him from the UK just to manage our entire Canadian and UK distribution. But we have talent from around the world. So we have around 25 employees in the organization now, everything from shareholders to execs, all the way to just some of our best team in the warehouse the Amazon experts handling products. And those are the real guys that are saviors, especially during COVID-19 and willing to put their life on the line to help businesses. But we work with businesses around the world, so we want to make sure that our team is there too. So predominant of our team works out of our Toronto office, but we have several staff in the US. We have multiple staff overseas in India as well. We have a team out there as well. So we want to make sure that as we continue to grow, talent's not always going to be in Canada, and we want to make sure that we're not limited to just domestic talent that could be anywhere. So we're looking into universities of top growing talent. We're looking around the world. So scale is the opportunity, and we're willing to go anywhere. So it's not a matter of where they are, it's just how they can perform it, and we're trying to take the best of the best.
Fair enough. A couple judges have asked, who do you see as your biggest competitor?
That's a good question. A lot of people would actually consider it's Amazon. Because of the business model, they think that because we're preparing products to send to Amazon, they might end up just trying to duplicate that model in the future. Given the complexity that we see, the bigger competitors that we're seeing is there's a lot of very traditional e-commerce fulfillment hubs, very large businesses in your organization that have been here for dozens of years that have built off this traditional B2B distribution model or more of an e-commerce from the early 2000s. And because of this, right now, Amazon isn't a large piece of the business, so they're not willing to invest in it. So I think over time, the largest piece of our competition would be some of these larger firms that already do fulfillment for some of the largest brands in the world. If they can transition to try to offer that Amazon solution, that would be a very unique competitiveness in terms of the marketplace. But what we're doing is we're offering something very, very niche. We want to make sure that we're flying under the radar of these bigger guys between Amazon. So offering this unique solution, trust me when I say it was a nightmare figuring all the logistics out of Amazon and hundreds of pages of reports to do. So because of this, I don't see it happening anytime soon, but obviously it's something that we're always going to consider.
Fair enough. Gavin Armstrong from Lucky Ironfish Enterprise asked, are you affiliated with any other fulfillment agencies, or are you doing this solo? I see that you share an address with eShipper, just wondering what that relationship is like.
Yeah. So Lucky Ironfish actually fulfills out of the same office. So our sister company is eShipper. For anyone who doesn't know what eShipper is, they're a relatively Canadian household name here in Canada for e-commerce. But Nicole, what they do is compared to if you visualize hotel.com or Trivago or Kayak, anywhere for last minute hotel deals, they do the exact same thing with shipping rates. And they're one of the largest in Canada. So they offer last minute shipping for all the major carriers around Canada. So they actually were the ones that invested into us early on. So they offer very traditional e-commerce fulfillment, and obviously they do a shipping platform, but they didn't have that unique Amazon space. So very early on, they saw us as a really great opportunity. We started speaking to the owners there, and now their entire executive team is the AMZ executive team. So we actually help fulfill Lucky Ironfish as well. So very small world, but yeah, our sister company is eShipper, and then there's a whole umbrella of services. So most definitely didn't do this alone. There was a point that we needed some sort of partnership if we wanted to scale to the point that we wanted to and how quickly. Because of this, we took the partnership with eShipper, but it's been the best decision we've made. It's been flying high since, so it's very, very exciting.
Blair Mark Laurie from appliedtoeducation.com is asking about the number of employees versus your payroll expenses and where rent is in your expenses. I think just wondering how the two correlate, because I think the payroll expense seems low to him given the number of employees that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the two major benefits is we have 25 entire in the organization. Some of these are executives at eShipper that have tagged on board to help AMZ. And some of our original staff are through the contract staff as well. So between those two, that's where the majority of costs get split up in between our part-time staff. So in 2020, we were able to kind of cut down from our payroll staff and transition to more temporary agency. given that we wanted to make sure that the employees that we work with got the CERB benefits. So we let a lot of our employees kind of hold on to the side and just hire these temporary agencies in the side as well. So on any given day, it'll be around 15 that we're actually paying for in the organization between our payroll and our contracted staff. But because we've also been able to leverage international employees everywhere from Mumbai, India, in the Philippines, and across Europe as well, we've been able to leverage discounted payroll rates as well. So we've been able to keep that traditional payroll, that's one of our most expensive costs in the warehouse, down anywhere else that doesn't need to be in the office.
Fair enough. Ross Arsenault from Assured Innovations, who's actually last year's national champion. So
Amazing.
He knows how to answer
Congrats.
these questions. He'd like to know if there are any trademark issues with AMZ. I mean, I personally want to say AMZ as a Canadian, but we'll leave that part.
Sure.
He said it was confusing on the handout because it's their known stock ticker. If it's profitable, what stops Amazon from causing you endless headaches, especially as a Canadian company?
I completely agree. Actually, very early on, we actually named ourselves Amazon Prep Canada. And ironically, when we had a UPS carrier, this was in my first warehouse, it was less smaller than this room. We had a UPS carrier say, like, what do you guys do? And I was like, oh, we're Amazon Prep Canada. And he's like, what are you talking about, Amazon? He's like, that could cause an issue. So very early on, we actually had to consider that. We were just young and trying to figure out the business model. So we learned very on what we can and cannot do from an Amazon standpoint and the logistics behind actually saying AMZ versus Amazon. So it stemmed off of that. It benefited us from an SEO because when people search up Amazon, it comes to us. But we've had conversations with our lawyers to make sure that from an AMZ standpoint and everything we're doing, we're okay. But obviously it's working with the biggest company in the world. It's something that we're always keeping our toes on for. We make sure not to step on them. So we stay quiet in the sideline helping these businesses. And then we work as side by side to them. So we try not to get in their way of competition. So we help them get products to their platform so then they can continue to grow. And that's the best way. So instead of walking in front of the competition, we're trying to just piggyback on it and ride the wave up.
Sounds good. I'm going to warn you, we're almost out of time, but I think we can get in one more question.
Amazing.
Rob Henderson from Eureka wants to know, why did you decide to focus on a new agency and international expansion versus continuing to scale your current business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's no doubt that we're still going to be continuing on the Canadian market. The first pillar, which was the international expansion, a lot of the brands we work with just want to take their products international. And obviously, driving a traditional business in a small retail shop, the opportunity to drive your products across the globe is just usually not feasible. So we try to offer this UK solution just to make sure that these smaller businesses that don't have the cost to be able to scale international, we're offering this in a very less friction standpoint.
Your presentation time has expired.
Amazing.
Please join me in welcoming our second student entrepreneur, Jessie Ward from the University of Calgary, owner of Hope Cleaning, Inc.
Invest in beautiful lives and create beautiful spaces. Hope Cleaning started as a family-run community development initiative and then grew into being Calgary's premier full-service commercial and residential cleaning service. Hope Cleaning creates meaningful employment for single moms, new immigrants, women escaping violence and exploitation, students, and recent graduates. We believe that everyone deserves a second chance, and we know that investing in our employees means that they invest in you. So what do? We deliver specialized cleaning solutions to a wide range of commercial and residential clients. Our goal is to partner with you to create customized cleaning and porter schedules that deliver the service you require without interrupting your core operations. When we clean for you, we use the top-of-the-line eco-friendly cleaning products to create clean and healthy environments. Hope Cleaning believes that work is a gift and that everyone deserves that opportunity. That's why our mission is to create as many opportunities as possible. Our current goal at Hope Cleaning is to generate enough employment for 100 full-time positions. Help us meet our goal. If you have any space that needs cleaning, call us today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Ward, and my wife and I currently own and operate Hope Cleaning, a social enterprise based in Calgary, Alberta. Founded in 2013, Hope Cleaning has now employed over 100 ladies and has seen many more people grow out of poverty and into prosperity. But before I get into the details of Hope Cleaning, I'd like to share a little bit more about myself. Born and raised on a small farm, I had no shortages of challenges facing me as I grew up. Though not impossible, a lot of the challenges I faced were much more difficult due to having a disability. However, I do not see my artificial legs as a limitation, but rather as a gift. My disability has caused me to develop innovative solutions to everyday problems and want to see barriers removed for everyone else. Being raised by a single mom, I became intimately acquainted with the stresses of growing up in a single parent family. I know the stress, I know the financial burden, and I know the difficulty of balancing full-time employment while being a single parent. And I knew that there had to be a better way. Fast forwarding a few years to the start of my undergrad, a few friends and I started handing out loaves of bread to a local low-income community. Our desire was to meet the people and see as many needs met as possible. After many months of chatting with parents, getting absolutely thrashed in soccer games against the kids, and handing out more bread than I thought existed, we met Selwa. Selwa is a mom of 5 and has a smile that gives everyone joy that gets to see it. One night we asked her, "Selwa, what do you really need?" She paused for a moment and then replied. She said, "Having a freezer full of bread is great, but what I really need is flexible employment. I need extra money to pay for all of the activities that my kids are in, and I can't leave my little ones at home to go work full time." So my wife and I, along with the other founding partners of Hope Cleaning, prayed about a solution. We brainstormed about what would have a low startup cost, flexible hours, and could be easily taught to individuals. And we landed on cleaning, which is all fine and dandy, but I personally do not like cleaning. Nonetheless, in 2013, with $6,000 out of our own pocket, we founded Hope Cleaning. With our Honda minivan, a mop bucket, and a lot of hopes and prayer, we started our cleaning company. But we soon discovered that starting the business and the physical exhaustion of cleaning would not be our only struggles. We soon learned that running a social enterprise was not going to be easy. Focused originally on employing women out of the low-income housing units in Calgary, we had a diverse group of ladies working for us. We soon found that language barriers were going to be large hurdles, as we not only had to communicate how to clean, but our standards of cleanliness. Thankfully, you can get pretty creative with hand actions when you're teaching someone to clean, and we saw our ladies' English skills really begin to grow. My wife even picked up some Swahili, but I am absolutely hopeless with that language. We persevered through missed buses, last-minute cancellations, midnight move-out cleans, and navigating the harsh Calgary winters in a cleaning van. But it was all worth it. We've now turned our $6,000 investment into a company that generates over $250,000 annually. We now have employed over 20 women full-time and have over 100 residential clients and over 30 commercial clients. And this year, we broke the point of paying out over $1 million in wages. For us, this was huge, as we knew that Hope Cleaning had generated that wealth and deposited it directly into the community. But with cleaning in Canada being an over $8 billion industry, we knew that we have only scratched the surface. But none of this would have been possible without our partners. Originally, having women out of the low-income housing be our employees, as we grew, word spread and agencies started to seek us out. We quickly formed partnerships with employment programs through agencies such as the Boys and Girls Club and the Mustard Seed, and began employing women out of Calgary shelters, giving ladies an opportunity to work after escaping domestic violence or sexual exploitation. We care about our people, and we needed our partners. Through years of experience, we have found that our most valuable assets are our people, and that the strongest relationships come from common mission, mutual respect, and excellent service. We have invested in relationships with our clients, our staff, and our partners, and our investment has been immeasurable in its return. Trying to always be innovative and provide the best service to our clients, we started a new branch of Hope Cleaning 2 years ago, providing sanitation services to care facilities and fitness facilities. Though we did not know how COVID-19 would impact our business when we launched these services, we have now been perfectly positioned to respond. Using our state-of-the-art electrostatic fogging application, which is depicted here, we have kept our people employed even though our cleaning services are currently suspended. We've continued to generate revenue during this time and use this time as a gift as we become more efficient and more profitable, and know that we will be better than we were before when we relaunch our cleaning services. Finally, what does this competition mean to us? First of all, I am so thankful to be able to share our story and tell about Hope Cleaning in any opportunity possible. Secondly, the winnings from this would directly impact our marketing campaign and our growth plan. But the most powerful for me is having all of you know a little bit more about Hope Cleaning. That is the greatest win. I'll end with a final story about an employee named Lori. Lori is a single mom of 2 who had escaped domestic violence, and when she started working for Hope Cleaning, could barely look me in the eyes. Since then, we have built into her, empowered her, and really seen her grow into a confident woman with a stable income who fought for the custody of her kids and is providing for all of their needs. Now she holds her head high, knowing that she is worthy of meeting anyone's gaze. And all she needed was the opportunity. Our plan with Hope Cleaning is to continue to provide employment opportunities and see powerful transformation in many other people's lives. Thank you for your time.
So judges, it's now time for the Q&A. I see questions are starting to come in. So Jesse, we'll get started with the first question from Zoe Scher at Schmooze Media. With your employees, do you also give them help in how to spend the money they earn? I guess, is there any financial education provided on top of the cleaning training?
So with myself currently completing my MBA, I try to impart as much knowledge as possible. But honestly, we try to get them connected with other resources as well. So we do talk to them about how to spend, how to save, and then also for individuals such as Amy, who's actually a lady that's been with us from the very beginning. She has 6 kids, and so we've started creating a scholarship fund from Hope Cleaning. So we offer to our employees that if they wish to save some of their finances and put it into an account, we can do that for them and put it with kind of their scholarship fund that we're creating, or just have advice on how to spend. So we are trying to be as responsible with that as possible.
Sounds great. Amr from Nerve Technology, a former also national champion, we have a few logged in today, says that your profit margins, at least as of 2019, seem relatively low despite being in business for a few years. What are your plans to bring down costs or increase revenue sources?
Yeah, so our profit margins have actually become narrower due to the fact that minimum wage increased so much in the last few years. So obviously now having to pay, over $15 to each one of our employees in minimum wage, we've just seen that that's been cut into, but we've been actually working with the University of Calgary and their optimization department to see how we can become better. So one of those ways is actually making our training policies better as far as getting cleaners out faster, and then also having smaller teams cleaning in locations, because we found that there were some inefficiencies as far as having 3 to 4 people on one residential job. Whereas now when we relaunch after COVID, we'll actually be putting 2 people at one location with a team lead and then kind of a new recruit or a newer cleaner, which will reduce our cost and increase our efficiency, which then will also increase our profit margins as well.
Fair enough. Edson from Project Management for NGOs asked, how would you mitigate the risk of your current employees opening their own business in the future? Or is that a goal you might have to empower and help these women become independent entrepreneurs?
Yeah, our goal is to see these ladies grow in any way possible. So one of the things that we've actually been working on is Lori, the lady that I spoke about at the end of the presentation. She would like to have her own cleaning company. So our direction for growth in the future is actually becoming a franchise. So our hope is that we can refine our systems now and have everything really done well, so that these women, as they grow and are internally promoted within Hope Cleaning, can actually buy into the company and start their own franchise. So currently we're looking at transferring residential into Lori, or to Lori as the owner. But with any ladies want to do that, we're always happy to help. And honestly, because our company culture is so strong, we haven't had any fear of having our ladies start something else, but instead we're happy to see them prosper.
And kind of tied into that, actually, the next question from Yvonne Tevno is, do you see these as end jobs, or do you see it more as a transition to other opportunities for the women?
We've seen a lot of transition, obviously, from ladies coming in and having really no self-esteem. So there was one individual who was at a women's shelter and went for an interview at McDonald's, and there was just a slight correction that the manager gave her when doing that, and she completely shut down. So at Hope Cleaning, we've seen ourselves almost like an incubator to see these women come into who they are, see their potential, and then be able to move on to other places. Obviously, our hope is that we can continue to grow and then have internal promotion for them to stay with us, because we really invest in all of these ladies and love to see them stay with us. But if they transition on, we're also really happy because they get full-time jobs, benefits for their kids, and are just put into a place of being able to get out of poverty and into a place of having income and family support.
Athena D'Amato from Angle Media Group asks, what's your expansion plan outside of Calgary? And as someone that lives in Toronto, I'd like to know the same.
Yeah, so personally, Toronto is a little bit far for me right now, but we have actually looked at expanding within Alberta. So we have a few partners through some of the agencies that we're with, such as the Be Local network that we're a part of here in Calgary, and then also Thrive and Momentum, which are kind of entrepreneurial incubators based in Calgary as well. And through them, we have also forged relationship with other individuals that are in business around Alberta. And we've looked into starting a cleaning branch in Grand Prairie, also in Edmonton, potentially in Red Deer. But the biggest thing is actually finding management to establish that expansion. So we're working right now to have individuals do that. But as far as geographic location, we really want to have like-minded management in place before we would launch a new service.
That makes sense. How do you and your team split the workload? What is everyone's roles?
As far as the actual cleaning or within the internal business?
I think with the management team is what, sorry,
Management.
Victoria Lennox from 19AIS. Yeah, how do you and your team split the workload?
Okay, so we actually have Lori, who's still on our payroll, is the training manager. So she's the one who does a lot of the hands-on kind of training as far as our ladies are concerned. It used to be my wife and myself that would handle all of that, depending on what my school schedule looked like, and then her availability. We would take the teams with us to then show them what the ropes are, do all of the training, drive them to all of the jobs. But as we've grown and expanded our services, we've hired on cleaning lead managers that actually transport all of the ladies after they have been trained by Lori, our training manager. And then Rachel and I split the duties as far as kind of management is concerned. So we focus a lot on the administration side, the client retention. Rachel and I do all of the quoting, and then all of the current kind of quality inspections and all of those things. But we're also just working to train more and more people so they can have more responsibility and more ownership of the company, because we find as they really care about what they're doing, the better our services are.
Gavin Armstrong from Lucky Iron Fish is asking, why are your accounts receivable so high? Is there a concern about default or writing off a portion?
So in that department, we find that unfortunately with Calgary, there's a lot of downturn right now. So we've seen a lot of people that have had difficulty paying. We've had to put a few of our clients on payment plans just because they don't have the finances to pay right now. And unfortunately, there has been some corporate clients that have defaulted with Hope Cleaning. Thankfully, not a large amount. We have really great clients, so it is not actually a risk. But we find that honestly, the cleaning bill sometimes just slips people's minds. So that's one of the departments that I handle personally, of calling people and making sure that we follow up on those accounts receivable and ensure that they have that reminder. And honestly, as soon as they have it again, they pay most of the time. But we find that it really stacks up when we're doing over, $25,000, $30,000 a month in accounts receivable. And if a few of our corporate clients at $7,000, $10,000 each don't pay exactly on time, they can add up really quickly.
Fair enough. What does your marketing campaign look like? Nuha from EcoPackers is asking.
Yeah, so we currently have been using kind of some social media marketing, and then we honestly market most through our partners. So we have a lot of communities that we're a part of and have had a lot of free advertising done, both TV, radio, online, through our partners, such as Jobber, which is our software company. And then we're also looking into launching more. So we recently, I actually signed up for this venture in Calgary called Social School, which is all about marketing, getting your website in a better place, and trying to expand your online presence, because we find that that is where the most of our clients come from. is through a Facebook ad or a referral on a swap and buy group or something like that, where our residential clients see it, they're referred by someone else, and then they want to find out about cleaning for themselves. So as far as exactly where we're going, we're currently in the process of that. We haven't had to do a lot of targeted marketing, but now that we're wanting to grow more aggressively, we're really looking into the best way of doing that.
Fair enough. Scott Bowman from Futurepreneur Canada wants to know, who's your biggest competitor?
Our biggest competitor, I would say there's a few that are really big in Calgary. On the residential side, I would say Mango Maids are probably one of the bigger ones, actually. And then we also find that there's competitors such as Men in Kilts and a few other big companies that really don't focus on the residential side. But when we're trying to break into the corporate side, we find it's all in who you know. And so Service Master is one of the ones that we really are constantly vying against, it seems, just because their name is out there. They've been established for so many years. They're a great company. But as we tell our story, it really distinguishes us from all the other cleaning companies, because though we provide excellent service, people have a social impact when they partner with us. And that just separates us above all the rest as to why we are the excellent cleaning company to go with.
I guess to specific customers, it probably speaks very specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
Basil Trevor from Jeff Air Group is teaching me some Swahili. He says, Jumbo, with your profit margins looking concerning, how could you leverage technology for greater efficiency and scalability? And then he says, Asante, which apparently is thanks.
Okay. So honestly, the biggest profit margin scalability comes with our disinfection service. So that for us has been an area where we're really seeing substantial profit growth. And COVID actually has brought to everyone's mind the importance of sanitation and the importance of cleanliness. So we find that as far as profit margins are concerned, we have about a 95% profit margin on our sanitation services. And just this month alone, I was able to sign up a client that will actually almost double our revenues just in having one client come on for sanitation as they have people returning to work. So that is an area that we're looking to expand, because in the cleaning service industry, residential has a very narrow profit margin because it's so labor intensive and our customer acquisition cost is a little bit higher. But in the corporate side, which we're also trying to grow, the profit margin is a lot higher, about 30%, 35%. So as we expand in that area, our profit margins will also grow. And then additionally, we also have a few people that we've put on to staff and actually have taken a salary from the business without having a whole lot more influx of actual clients come in. So that's why it looks more narrow than it actually is, but we're fairly profitable.
Fair enough. Michael Tessier from Good Roots Landscaping, kind of aligned with what you're just talking about. Who is your target market coming out of the COVID pandemic? Is it residential homes, or have you looked at expanding to senior home sanitation?
Yeah, so we actually have looked into senior home sanitation during this time. The biggest difficulty with senior home sanitation is the regulations surrounding it. So you have to be really careful. And then with our product, it is perfectly safe. It's actually food safe. So it's the best one that I found on the market as far as effective in sanitation side and also healthy for people. But we recommend that the individuals be out of the space for at least an hour to an hour and a half after we've applied the product, because it needs 10 minutes on the surface to fully kill everything. So unless there's no disturbance, there's a risk that everything won't be completely sanitized. So we have talked about expanding into seniors' homes for like their common areas, because we could go in at night and then do their dining rooms or their hallways or their rec rooms, those type of things. We absolutely are interested, but one that I've actually really been pressing for is the Ronald McDonald House. So we've partnered with them because there's so many immunosuppressed kids.
Your time has expired. Sorry, I always hate cutting people off, but we've got to make it consistent across the board.
No,
but
thank you.
Thank
you,
much.
judges. Great questions.
And last but not least, please welcome our third student entrepreneur, Jean-Luc Martino from the University of Ottawa, owner of BagSort.
Hello, dear members of the jury. Over the next 8 minutes, I will show you why I am this year Enactus Student Entrepreneur Champion. My name is Jean-Luc. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BagSort, and we are building the world's largest storage network. What does that mean? Well, to explain, let me tell you how it all began. I found myself in Toronto for business, traveling, and having to wait hours at a coffee shop with nothing to do. Why? I couldn't find anywhere to leave my bags until I could get into my Airbnb later that day. And that's when I realized that storing your bags while traveling is a common and a real issue for many travelers around the world. And that's why, along with my good friend Ashley, we've created a platform that allows travelers to safely book and store their belongings at a local shop or hotel nearest to them. We provide insurance coverage on every transaction, and upon arrival, your bags are always secure with uniquely coded security seals like this one. Essentially, we're also working to implement additional sanitary procedures to really safely handle any bags post-COVID-19. So why become a storage host with us? 4 words: monthly income and additional sales. Essentially, a top host storing 9 bags with us per day can generate over $10,000 in yearly incomes just with us. Furthermore, our hosts reported that over 60% of our customers will purchase at their location when stopping in to drop in their bag. And with local businesses feeling devastating impacts from the COVID-19 lockdown, many of them are looking for alternative revenue stream. And that's where BagSort comes along to their rescue. Now you're asking probably, what have they accomplished so far? Well, we initially launched in 3 cities back in fall of last year. And this city really served as a pilot market for us to really test our assumptions. And I'm very proud to say that since March, we're live in 7 major cities and even started expanding in the United States. With just by yourself and in a very short time frame, we were able to build a storage network of over 100 locations worldwide. We've already won a couple of pitch competition and have raised over $85,000 in non-dilutive capital. But best of all, we've stored hundreds of bags with zero claim on insurance to date. So the model clearly works. But like I mentioned, Canada was really a pilot market for us, as the real opportunity can be found in the US and in Europe. In fact, with over 2.1 billion annual trips in the US alone, hundreds of millions of travelers face that storage issue each year. Our main clients are Airbnb users. And why Airbnb users? Well, compared to hotels, they don't have access to traditional concierge service. And our global market is estimated at over $1 billion today and is growing at a fast rate. And with COVID-19, we expect travelers to prefer staying at private apartments like Airbnbs instead of hotels where they'll interact with likely way more people. So we have very few competitors, but still, BagSort offers a superior service offering to any competition out there. Our main key differentiator can be found really in our value proposition, which is safety. We've put at the heart of everything we do, safety and trust first. This means that we vet every location that we put on our platform, and we only take trustworthy location, which is not the case for the competitors. Also, we're the only platform that have a verified system review that make it possible for us to constantly monitor the quality of our network and make a customer experience first. And that's why customers and travelers love us. But more importantly, we have built many key partnerships. On the supply chain side, so partners storing bags for us, we work with hotel chains such as Podshare in Los Angeles and others like Penguin Pickup in Toronto that have a massive network of drop-off locations. On the client side, so partners that refer us new users, we work with the biggest property rental management companies in Canada. Essentially, vacation rentals, they don't have time or their resources to even deal with special requests from their guests like luggage storage. And that's a massive point of friction for them. We've partnered with GuestBnB in Toronto as our first referral partner back in March. Our sales went up 300% as a result of them referring us to every of their customers that came into their rentals. And now, since then, we've signed over 12 partnerships with other companies like GuestBnB. But really, the advantage of all these partnerships, and not just for growing our business, but for building a moat that protects us from any competition. And now I know a lot of guests are thinking throughout the presentation, well, how unlucky is Jean-Luc to be at the head of a travel startup during the COVID-19 pandemic? Well, definitely created new challenges that we thought we would never have to face. But we stayed positive the whole time, and even if we're able to overcome it and do the best of the situation. We were able to create all these new and amazing partnerships, optimize our client acquisition channels, as well as optimize and improve our tech and platform. And we are very positive on the future as we believe that travel will bounce back again in the coming months. In fact, nearly half of surveyed Americans worldwide mentioned that they believe they will travel right away after any lockdown is lifted. And another fifth would wait 6 to 2 months. Also, we believe that our bookings will short again this summer thanks to domestic travel, as Canadians will be spending their holidays in Canada. The great thing about our business model and these partnerships is they are very scalable. All we need is a host and a location, and we can put them live. Many of our domain channels are free, are very inexpensive, which means it's not difficult to actually set up in a new city. We're very asset light and have strong margins. Our fixed overhead are minimal, and we have enough runway to last another year without needing to raise any additional capital if COVID would have to persist. Part of the team is Ashley and Frédéric. Ashley brings experience in entrepreneurship, business development, and operation management, while Frédéric brings over 10 years of expertise in software development. Myself, I studied finance, and I have skills in marketing and sales to the team. But most importantly, I'm a natural-born entrepreneur. I actually started my first business while I was 6 years old, selling lemonade on the side of the street to my neighbors. And previous to Bagzort, I had a business essentially that I grew from nothing to 6 figures in the service industry while being full-time at school. Along the way, I surrounded myself with mentors and advisors who believe in our solution. Professionals and experts in different fields like law, product development, marketing, and business. We also joined a couple of local incubators that provide us additional funding, as well as coaching and access to their wide network of professionals. Overall, Bagzort is working to build a more seamless travel experience. I'm here talking to you because we need your help. That's why. We would like to receive introduction to potential partners like Airbnb or Marriott Hotels or any major hotel chains. The $10,000 Enactus grant would also make it possible for us to accelerate our growth in the United States and bring Bagzort to 3 new cities this fall. Bagzort is the Airbnb of luggage storage. Our world is changing, and it is time for us to change. Thanks a lot for your time.
We will get started with the questions. So our first question is from Yvonne Teveno. Can you walk through how the startup costs were allocated, given it's a largely variable cost revenue model? Other than a website, it seems a bit heavy.
Yeah, definitely. So startup cost for us, initially, we didn't have any CTO. So we had to outsource the programming and hire programmers to do the full website for us, as we were both non-technical funders. And along the way, we later convinced one of them to actually join us, Frédéric, as our CTO. Since then, and it's a lot also in terms of the legal fees. Like we incorporated the whole business. We had shareholders agreements made. So I would say like our first cost, really major cost to start up the business was really the legal fees and the technical tech fee. The programming fees. And essentially, like I mentioned, initially we started expanding in these cities, so we would go ourselves, like in Toronto, for example, and stay there for like a week or two to really grow the network ourselves. So essentially, we would be able to stay in Toronto for like a few days and have 20 partners door to door, me and my co-founder. So it's a lot of these costs too. But since then, we were really able to lower significantly our CAC, which was mostly derived from Google Ads expenses that we completely cut. And essentially we're able to now optimize that cost to $1.78, around $2, thanks to all the partnership we're doing with the property management companies that directly refer us to the clients, and they receive a fixed commission on every new client they refer us.
Thanks. Jamie Mackay from Align asks, the financials start with 2021 projections, but you are in market now. Can you tell us a bit about the financial performance to date revenue, margins?
Yeah, definitely. So it's like a good question. Like you all know, the situation was pretty hard with COVID, and as we're a travel startup, and we've been pretty greatly affected by COVID the last few months. This year, we were expecting, and we were on our way to reach 150 to 200K in revenue. That's what was projected with our growth in our new cities we're supposed to add up. But once it happened, we had to stop expanding in new cities. And essentially, we lost like a good portion of our revenue as no travel and no travel, no storage. And many of our partners' location had to temporarily close down due to lockdown. But now already we're seeing like there's a bounce in the travel industry. And already like this week, in the last week, we're already seeing transaction come back to our website, mainly in our Canadian cities. Yeah.
Thanks. Gavin Armstrong from Lucky Ironfish Enterprise asks, will COVID-19 require you to clean storage units between uses? And if so, how can you adapt?
That's a good question as well. So we won't necessarily clean the storage unit itself. So normally we actually already implemented new sanitary procedures when you pick up and drop off your bag. So first of all, once you get your security seals, you put it yourself around your bags and you bring your bags yourself at the back of the store, if that's where they store their bags, and you pick it up yourself. So we're trying to make the service as contactless as possible to really eliminate the needs of exchange of hands. And also our stores, they've been, they're now offering our customers liquid disinfectant like Purell every time they come in to drop their bags. And they're also respecting all the social distanciation guidelines within their own cities. But yeah, like COVID really pushed us to like adapt to the situation and add new sanitary procedures.
I think it's caused a lot of us to make a lot of adaptations. Hamish Knox from Sandler Training asks, what's your timeline for an exit and how would you approach the potential acquirers that you identified in your plan?
Yeah, definitely. So essentially we're looking at it well, now we're going to be in our first year, I mean. So we're looking into 4 years, around 4 to 5 years, I would say. Because at the end of the day, our goal is really to have storage location in every cities in the world. And right now it's sluggish storage, which is our main market. But at the end of the day, we're building the largest storage market, storage network in the world. And we can store anything else potentially. We're even thinking about adding services like drop-off locations for some customers. Instead of having to have their packages shipped at their place, they would have their package shipped at a Bagzer location. And we would do partnership with corporation like with food that send a lot of packages that when people that are not here pick it up, it gets stolen or theft. So it's an alternative market we're looking at even to grow even faster. But I would say that, yeah, 4 to 5 years, and it would potentially be travel companies like Airbnbs or even Expedia that might be interested. And we're also looking into more traditional companies like Dyson, and that have a very large network of locations for long-term storage, but they're not in the short-term storage market yet.
Fair enough. Rob Henderson from Eureka would like to know why you decided to expand to new markets before scaling and learning from one.
Yeah. So we started, like I mentioned, in 3 cities in Canada because we wanted to have different markets to see how clients would interact in different cities, if there would be the same stats, same client acquisition. And we started from them. And like I said, for us, scaling the business is pretty cost effective. We spent 3 days in Toronto, and myself and my partner, we signed up 20 locations there. So once we have location and host active in a city, we just have to put them live and there's no extra cost to it. And once we have partnership established in that city, like Toronto, we have Airbnb and others, now it just runs by itself with organic traffic also coming in. And secondly, as well, what we see is the more cities we're adding up, the more our recurring clients rate raise. So we have, like, for example, that lady last week, I saw she used our service 4 times during the pandemic, 2 times in Toronto, 2 times in Vancouver. So having more storage location in different cities really catch these business travelers that travels a lot. And yeah.
Fair enough. Edson Marino from PM for NGOs asked, have you faced any issues with clients because of the opening hours of your partner businesses, clients who can't retrieve their luggage because of a late time? How do you deal with that risk?
So we never had any problems in terms of times, because the way we program the platform is once you're looking for a time to store your bags, you're looking for an exact time space. So between 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, And when we sign up partners, we have all their hours in the plan and on their profile. So it won't let you book a storage for until like 8 o'clock if the storage location is closed at 7. It won't let you pass through. So you can only book when you filter through the right proper hours. So that's how we're really able to like maintain the main hours. And if there's a vacation or a break, anything, the partners are able to access our platform through their own portal and change the hours as well.
Fair enough. Henny from Lion Marketing Agency asks, what is or will be your marketing strategy going forward?
Yeah. So going forward, it's a lot of partnership with property and rental management, because we saw that from what we did, it's the most profitable. Google Ads, it costed us $20 on average per clients. Even some cities $25. But since we launched our affiliated program with these property management companies that owns, let's say, 100 units of Airbnbs in Toronto and that they're managing, now they directly refer us to their clients in the tracking instruction that if they need their luggage stored, they can use Bagzord, and we give them 15% commissions fixed on the storage price before the $2 transaction fee we charge. So it means that we have a fixed cost of acquiring clients. And we also have a lot of work in terms of SEO to boost our ranking. So if you look up luggage storage in LA, we're already now on the first page after a month too. So that's all free in organic traffic, plus our recurring users that really gives us that low acquisition cost.
Ross Arsenault from Assured Innovations wants to know, seems like you've bested the current competitors by a wide margin, but what are the sustainable, unique advantages you have over potential new competitors with deep pockets? Like what if Airbnb decides to do this themselves?
Well, I would say to Airbnb, it would be cheaper to just acquire us than going and build a whole network themselves in-house. Definitely someone with bigger pocket could hire a team, but like any businesses, anyone could do the same. It's easier to just invest or buy the acquired business that's already been done. And actually one of our competitors, they acquired one of our old competitors in the US last year. So already we might even be a potential target for our competitors. So yeah, that's.
Nuha Siddiqui from Eco Packers asks, how are you competing with airports that provide storage options for short-term bags?
Yeah, so we don't really compete with airports, as like the main target clients we're gonna go for people that are already downtown, for example. You just arrive downtown Toronto, and let's say you're a business traveler, you're not even staying in downtown Toronto, and you have a business meeting and you have your duffel bags. You have nowhere to leave it. You won't leave it at the airport, technically. Even if you stay there overnight, because sometimes you can arrive at 11 o'clock and your Airbnb, they won't let you in before 4 o'clock, but you won't wait 6 hours or bring all your bags with you at your business meetings or leave them at the airport as you need it for your next days. So they're not a direct competitors. And also airports, they're even less of a direct competitors and creating new market opportunity for us as they started removing lockers for security purposes. Train stations, same thing. So now there's a demand that's not being filled, and we're filling that demand.
One of our judges wants to know, you mentioned a booking value of $17, but your deck mentioned a booking value of $5.95. Which is it? So
we charge $5.95 per bags, plus a $2 transaction fee per luggage. And on average, our users are gonna leave 2.5 bags with us. That gives us an average transaction of $17.
Perfect. And what is the average one-time setup fee per site with your storage system?
So there's no setup fee. It's free for them to come in the platform. Once they're in, we send them security sales, and that we have it done in China. It costs us like 1 cent per sale. So we ship it to them if we're not there physically, and that's like a $10 fee for us. But there's no setup fee for the actual partners. They just have to have an existing space that they can use for luggage storage, and have their employees known how it works in terms of security purposes, and they can store as soon as they are signed up on the platform. And everything is connected. They receive their commission every month through their bank account. They can manage their own orders and see every time they have a new guest coming, they have an email. So it's really interconnected to have, so we can have as much of a good relationship with our host.
Perfect. And I think we have time for one more question. How do you qualify your partners in storage sites? What does that look like? And how do you guarantee the standardized service between each one?
So we vet all the location. Up to now, for the 100 location, we vetted themselves as we were already there. So we saw where they would leave our bags. But for sure, in the future, we wouldn't want to be there physically every time we need to vet a location. So most of the time, we have locations that are already trustworthy. We'll go on Google Maps, for example, and see their reviews if they have a pretty good ranking with their customers, existing customers already. So a lot of our stores, they're bakeries, local businesses in terms of retail stores, dry cleaners. And for them, they want to maintain their reputation as they're getting more people coming in their store. At the same time, if you have a gift shop and they come drop your bags, you get commission of it.
Your time has expired, but thank you so much, Jean-Luc, and thank you and congratulations. We have now completed all 3 student entrepreneur finalist presentations. And in just a few moments, we will announce our national champion. First, a huge congratulations to the hundreds of students who were part of the competition this year, and specifically to our 3 finalists. What you have accomplished while balancing a full-time course load is nothing short of incredible. And a huge thank you to our program supporter, HSBC Bank Canada. Thank you for giving us the support and resources to recognize and celebrate these exceptional young Canadians. This is the final official event of the 2020 Enactus Canada National Exposition. And it has been an incredible month celebrating the entrepreneurial activity of our teams and our student entrepreneurs. Thank you to everyone who's joined us and all of our partners for their support as we pivoted this event to ensure we could still celebrate the work and achievement of our students while staying safe. And I have to say, I think it's been pretty amazing.
Thanks, Nicole. Hello again. I'm Jeff Brown, Head of Retail Business Banking and Wealth Management at HSBC Bank Canada, and I'm here to help deliver the final results of the Student Entrepreneurial National Competition. HSBC is proud to recognize Canadian university and college students who balance a full-time course load and a full-time business. Along with receiving the $10,000 cash prize, today's national champion will also be presented with the John Dobson Cup, a shining symbol of their determination and dedication as a young entrepreneur. We once again were so impressed with all 3 finalists, and like you, I cannot wait to hear the results. Congratulations, félicitations to all competing students. Now I'll hand it back to Enactus Canada to announce the results.
The Student Entrepreneur National Runner-Up is Jessie Ward. And the 2020 Student Entrepreneur National Champion, taking home the John Dobson Cup and a $10,000 cash prize, is Blair Forrest. Congratulations to our Student Entrepreneur National Champion. And thank you to everyone who participated in our first virtual national exposition over the last several weeks. See you in September at Enactus World Cup.